Last week, we had Tennis Australia's Head of Innovation here on the show, telling us all about the 10 early stage startups that they're developing in the Sports Tech Melbourne Accelerator program. And we wanted to hear more, so one of the founders, Swapnil Sahai from SwingVision, is joining us to explain his mobile AI platform for athletes. It offers real-time video analysis on your smartphone. And Swapnil joins us now. Thank you very much for coming on Startup Daily.
Hey, thanks guys. Thanks for having me.
Swapnil, as someone who sort of is a double fault expert, this sounds like something that every weekend hacker needs to improve their game. Tell us about how SwingVision works.
Yeah, so we're really trying to help you improve your game regardless of where you are. So, whether you're on court or trying to train at home. And so if you're on court, the way it works is you can put your phone up on a tripod behind you, and our artificial intelligence analyzes your video in real time. So we actually analyze your ball trajectory, the player movements, and generate all kinds of statistics that normally you'd only get if you were a professional player in like a broadcast setting. And then if you're at home, you can also train using these drills that we have, and it's really fun. So you put your phone down on the ground against a wall, and then you can work on your ground strokes, your footwork, your consistency, and our AI tracks scores for you and provides audio feedback in real time. So it's really kind of a holistic way to work on your game, wherever you are, essentially.
It sounds like Nick Kyrgios has found his coach in this particular app, but I'm interested, does it apply across to other sports? Like, will you be able to use it if I'm a golfer or football kicker or all of those other sorts of ball games?
Yeah, eventually that's the plan. So right now we're really focused on tennis, and we see that's a really huge underserved sport at the moment because this kind of technology has never existed there. But definitely, as we kind of progress and make the team larger, we definitely plan to address some of these other sports that you mentioned, like golf.
And can you just tell us what stage is the business at, and what do you hope to gain from participating in the Sports Tech Accelerator?
Yeah, so we're quite early stage. We're kind of at you could say maybe the pre-seed or the seed stage. So we've only raised angel money so far. We don't have any formal VC investment other than Techstars, of course. And with the program, we were really excited because there's an opportunity to work really closely with Tennis Australia, and then of course, Techstars is a great program just to kind of accelerate our business and help us figure out all the different channels and ways we can grow the company a lot faster.
I'm intrigued by how you came up with this idea. Were you sitting at home watching the Australian Open and thinking, maybe there's a better way to do this? It's wild that you can do it on a smartphone.
Yeah, it's so funny. That's basically how it happened. I'm a huge tennis fan growing up. I've been to all the Grand Slams. I watch all the Grand Slams. I'm a huge data nerd, so I always watch all the data being tracked by the pros. And I was so upset because I would lose a match and I had no idea what I did wrong. I had some memories of those double faults or break points that I had, but there was no data telling me, oh, this is exactly what you did wrong and here's how you improve. And so I thought, wow, it'd be amazing if I could have the same kind of data that Federer and Nadal have, and I could use that to improve my game. And that's kind of where it started, essentially.
And I understand that the next phase is to have some kind of match analysis offering. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. So one thing that's quite incredible about our technology is that we track the ball in really high precision in 3D. So we know whether the ball is in or out. And so eventually, once our technology gets accurate enough, we can essentially automate the scoring of the match. And that will allow us to actually track all of those stats for you. So we'd be able to tell you how many break points you won and how you did on second serves versus first serves, and basically automating all that analysis.
So this sounds like you're going to sort of be coming after Hawkeye down the track with this.
Well, right now we're pretty much just focused on the amateur market. Hawkeyes, they have many cameras. They're obviously going to be a lot more accurate than what we can do with one camera. But the idea is we're just trying to help amateur athletes as much as we can, with something that's really cheap and affordable.
Well, speaking of cheap, affordable, do you have an idea of the revenue model that you're going to be using? How much is it going to cost me to learn how to be a better tennis player?
Yeah, so at the moment we have, it's a freemium model. So essentially you can track up to 2,500 shots a month, which equates to roughly about 5 hours of tennis. And then if you want to track unlimited data and get deeper insights, then that's $10 a month at the moment.
That's incredibly affordable.
Yeah, especially if you take into account how much I spend on my kids' tennis lessons. Is this something that could be adapted to all ages, or is it a product focused on adults?
No, it's actually for all ages. We even have coaches use it with really young kids who are just starting out their game, and it's great for kids because you can kind of track your progression, throughout your life. Really, and tennis is a lifelong sport, right? So we're really hoping that kids can start engaging with this product and start using it to measure their performance, and then they can kind of get a baseline and see how they improve, throughout their life, really.
I'm thinking I spend that much on tennis balls that end up on the roof every month. So, this is pretty good value. Can you give us an idea of your plans over the next 12 to 18 months? Where do you hope to get your startup to?
Yeah, I mean, at least in tennis, one really big problem is, of course, the match analysis that you mentioned. But, a real problem that you really feel is line calling, right? So there's a lot of cheating that happens, unfortunately, at the recreational level. And it makes sense, like you're kind of incentivized to call the ball out when it's on your side of the court. But at the same time, it's just hard. Like as a human, you can only see the ball so clearly, especially when it's near you, right? And so we're really trying to make line calling objective, treat both players fairly, and basically just use a smartphone in your pocket to solve that. So that's kind of the big vision that we have for tennis. And then beyond that, starting in 2021, we'll start going into some other sports, potentially racket sports or golf, like you mentioned.
It's just absolutely amazing. It's been great to hear this story. I look forward to hearing what else is going on down there at Tennis Australia. But Sunil, thank you so much for joining us today and telling us about SwingVision.
Of course, thank you for your time.
That's it for today on Startup Daily TV. Head to our website